Hello, hello. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing fine. And I hope you can see my whiteboard here. Let me, I don't know where this light, oh, it's the overhead light that's showing on that. Sorry about that. Okay. But today, what we're going to talk about is open enrollment period. Okay. Let me see if I can adjust this a little bit more. Uh, oh, I have to jimmy rig stuff. When you have different equipment, you have to make do with what you got. So um, this is open enrollment time, and it is open enrollment for Medicare insurance plans. I keep trying to adjust it to get this light off of it. It's open enrollment for Medicare and also for a lot of employer sponsor plans. If you have insurance through your employer, this is usually the time that there's open enrollment where you can make choices and everything. Uh, I'm sorry, this is aggravating. Is So anyway, I'll read it to you. So anyway, open enrollment is up the middle until the first part of December. So, some things that you need to pay attention to, because a lot of times we just go ahead and sign the paper and check the boxes and don't really look at the details. But what you need to consider is, okay, how much did you use your insurance for this past year? Okay. How much did you use your insurance this past year? How did you have to pay any money out of pocket? Did you have to pay any extra expenses out of your pocket? Did you have to pay extra out of pocket for your medications? Or if were you hospitalized, and if you had any outpatient procedures, was there any money you had to pay for that? So those are things you need to consider when you are enrolling in these insurance plans. Okay, so think about what your use has been in the past year. You need to look at what has gone on in the past year. And the other thing you need to look at and consider your health. Your health. Are you healthier than you were last year, or do you have new health problems? Do you have new conditions from last year? Or, as you're getting older, are you noticing that you have more concerns? So those things you need to pay attention to so that you will have the coverage that you need in order to take care of them. All right. So there's two broad categories I want to cover for each one, for employer sponsor and for Medicare. And that is, hey, how you doing? Um, HMO plans and PPO. Okay. HMO plans are usually closed panel plans. That means that you generally have it's usually a primary care provider who is called the gatekeeper, the one who you see, your primary care, and that provider will be the one who will do the referrals, and you have to stay within the network of providers to be seen. You really you can't pick and choose who you see with an HMO. You When you enroll in the panel for the HMO, that's who you have to see. And if you go outside of that HMO, they may deny payment and you have to pay out of pocket. And the other option is a PPO, um, pay, preferred provider option. And what that is, you get to, it's a little bit more lenient than the HMO. So you get to choose your primary care provider, and you get to choose your specialist that you see. Now, you may still have to have referrals from your primary care, but you get to pick and choose who you want to see. And that's for employer sponsored plans or Medicare sponsored plans. Now, the option, okay, now I need to make a disclaimer there. If that if those providers are part of the insurance that you have chosen. See, and that's another consideration that you need to look at. The insurance that you choose, the plan that you choose, you have, if you like your doctor, you need to make sure that your doctor is a provider in that plan. All right. And you can ask who the insurance agent, or I know here in Alabama, they do have these offices, these healthcare service offices that will answer your questions. But in other parts of the country, you don't have that. But you need to find out if your doctor is a provider on that insurance. All right. That's very important, because if not, then if you want to keep your doctor, then you may need to switch insurances, and or you have to find another doctor. Those are the two options that you have. And I know, like in this area, there's one insurance that is widely offered, but a lot of doctors in our local area are not providers for that insurance. So that's something that you really have to pay attention to. All right. So like I said, when you make a choice, you need to look at how much you use your insurance. If you're a person that only goes to the doctor twice a year, okay. But if you have a heart condition, if you have kidney problems, if you have different problems and you see different specialists, then you really need to pay attention to the type of insurance or to the insurance carrier that you have. So I'm going to spend the rest of the time talking about Medicare. Okay, because it's Medicare enrollment season. I know you have seen commercials, and your mailbox is probably full of all kinds of flyers from different insurance companies. So the thing about Medicare, okay, you have Part A, which is that's the part that's offered free for people who are 65 and older, or if you have been deemed eligible for Medicare, that pays for the hospital. That's all Part A does. It pays hospital. Part B is the one that you have to pay for. That is the one that they take money out of your Social Security check in order to pay for that. Part B is like an insurance option. And that is the one that will pay for outpatient procedures and for doctor's visits and outpatient procedures and doctor's visits. All right. Now, and then Part C is what they have for like the ancillary insurance company. And then Part D is a medication. So now what people have mostly gone to, let me see if I can switch that, are the Medicare Advantage plans. And the Medicare Advantage plans are the different private companies that have contracted with Medicare in order to provide insurance, or in order to provide services for people on Medicare. And the thing about Medicare Advantage plans, there's a lot of them now that have zero payment. You don't have to pay a premium, but it's because Medicare, that Part B that's coming out of your check, they're getting paid from that. So they are contracted with Medicare and Social Security in order to get paid through that. So that's why a lot of these companies, they say, oh, you there's zero payment Well, that's because they're getting paid. Believe me, they're not giving it to you free because of the kindness of their heart. No, they're getting paid. You just don't have to pay any extra money out of your pocket. But again, just like with the HMO and the PPO, the different Medicare Advantage plans, there are different separate insurance companies, and you need to see if your doctor is a provider with those different companies. And a lot of them have different perks and different bonuses and different extras. So that's what you need to look at. And like I said, it all depends on how much you use it and what you need it for. Now, there are some things that you need to look at as far as these Advantage plans. And one thing is your prescription, your medicine coverage. They do provide payment for your prescriptions, but they have a formulary. There's a formulary which is a list of medicines that they will cover at a greater cost, and that there are medicines that it all depends on the cost of the medicines and how new they are and what they're used for. That there's different what they call different tiers. So there's different price points that they will pay for different ones. So you may have to pay more money out of pocket for some different medicines, or there may be if your doctor changes your medicine, and and the pharmacist will tell you, well, this isn't covered by your insurance, so it's going to cost you X amount of dollars. That's when you have to work with your pharmacist and work with your provider and also with the insurance company to find out, okay, what does my insurance cover? And I know it's tedious, but um, you need to look at if this medicine is essential for your life. If you have, okay, like I deal with diabetes. So different diabetes medicines may not be covered by the insurance company. So you need to find out if the substitute that they offer will work for you. All right. That's something that you have to find out. That's something that you will have to discuss with your doctor. So there may be some adjustments and some switching that has to be done in order to take care of your problems. So medicine, like I said, medicine are one of the things that you need to pay attention to. Another thing you need to pay attention to is copay. How much copay are you responsible for when you see your doctor? The copay is the amount of money you have to pay out of pocket when you go to the doctor. Some of the Advantage plans for primary care, you only have to pay $5. And when you see a specialist, it may be as much as $40. But each plan is different. You have to you find that out when you enroll. That's one of the questions you need to ask when you enroll in the Medicare Advantage plan. There are some perks that they may have for you to see if they cover dental, to see if you can go to a dentist with that insurance plan. Also, eye coverage, if they cover eye exams, and if they cover the cost of glasses. That's another issue that you need to look at. And how often will they cover for the cost of glasses? Because I know some insurance companies, they only will pay for new glasses once every 2 years. So all of those little particulars you need to find out. Another instance is transportation. Do you have transportation to get back and forth to the doctor? And if you don't, some Medicare Advantage plans do offer transportation as one of their services. So that's another question that you need to ask, especially if you have issues with transportation. If you don't have a way to get back and forth to the doctor, you talk to um, your insurance company to see if they will cover that for you. All right. And then the last thing is the Silver Sneakers program. And that's usually like a gym membership. They will cover you going to the gym for exercise, and that's important. And you would think, well, I don't really need that. Yes, you do, because as you get older, your movements may be impaired. And going to participating in a silver sneaker program where they have fitness instructors that will work with you in order to provide a program for you, that will help with your overall health and with your functional fitness. So that is an important perk to look at also. Okay. So those are the things I wanted to discuss with you today. Is open enrollment, and you need to consider, look at what you have used in the past year. How much have you used your insurance in the past year? How much money you have had to pay out of pocket in the past year? And also, if you had to go to the hospital, how much money you had to pay for that. So all of those things need to be considered. And then when you're shopping around for different Medicare Advantage plans, make sure that you find out if your doctor is a provider for that plan. Also, the pharmacy, I forgot about that. You need to find out if your pharmacy is covered too, because that is something else to consider. Because there's some pharmacies that are not enrolled in different plans. So all of that you need to pay attention to. All right. So hopefully that will give you some things to look at and some things to consider, because you still have about 4 weeks before you have to make a decision. And if you have to switch plans, that's fine. I know that there are some. I know, like I think with the educators here in Alabama, they're locked in to the Medicare Advantage plan that they have. That they have this one plan, and that's who have to stay with. So if you are a retired educator or some entity like that, you need to look and see what your bonuses are, to look to see what your services that are provided, so you can take full advantage of them. Okay. So that's what I have for you today. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to post them in the group. All right. Post it on Totally About Diabetes. And I do have a webinar coming up, and I did not put the information up about it, but I have a webinar coming up in the next week. So be on the lookout for that information. Okay. Everybody have a great night, and I will talk to you later. Bye.